Good morning, Jonathan Miller here on Live with Lee, but I am not Lee. Lee Cruz is on vacation this week. He is starting a new fake news website. Sees a lot of opportunity there, and we wish him well. I have some incredible guests here today, and so unfortunately we don't have any time to take calls. But if anybody wants to have their say, please tweet at me. My Twitter is RecoveringPol. That's Recovering POL, as in Recovering Politician, and we'll try to answer any questions you have. Right now, we've got some cool guests. They are the Kentucky Hempsters. Their real names are Kirsten Bonard and Alyssa Erickson. They're young women. One's from Louisville, the other is from Murray, and they have gone all over the social media helping promote the industrial hemp movement in Kentucky and across the country. Kirsten and Alyssa, the Kentucky Hempsters, welcome to the program.
Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so first of all, let's talk about what is hemp and what you all are doing. So I assume that what you are doing is smoking marijuana and encouraging others to do so. Is that what the mission of Kentucky Hempsters is?
No. It's actually quite the opposite. Thanks for counteracting everything we're trying to do through our efforts across the state. We're actually doing the opposite of that. Obviously, industrial hemp refers to the non-THC, no psychoactive, less than 0.3% THC varieties. So we're promoting those and the industrial potential of the hemp plant through our events, through social media, and all of our promotional activities across the state.
I was wondering why the stuff you gave me wasn't giving me any high. So now it all makes sense. I'm sorry I had to learn on the air. Seriously.
Sorry. That's a lot of people's reactions. Believe it or not, people sometimes are disappointed when they come up and, you guys are the Hempsters, and they think we're promoting one thing and get a little disappointed when they realize we don't have anything to sell them in that reference. So
if hemp is not pot, what is hemp used for these days?
We like to say it's used for everything else. Pretty much anything from body care products, textiles, energy, batteries. There's 3D printing with hemp now, and it really expands on pretty much any industry and anything besides smoking it.
So you guys are the Kentucky Hempsters, and Kentucky is really the epicenter for hemp. Why is hemp in particular so important for Kentucky, and why has Kentucky become kind of ground zero for this whole new movement?
Well, I think it really all started with the early development of Kentucky. If we trace back to Kentucky's early roots, we'll find that hemp had a huge part in growing Kentucky's early economy from 1775, when the first crop was planted, until the early 1900s. It remained one of Kentucky's biggest economic drivers and Kentucky's largest cash crop. So we feel like, based on what we know we can do with it today, it can definitely be that once again.
Well, you have a special tie to one of my good friends from childhood, as many of my listeners know, that Henry Clay and I grew up together. I actually went to Henry Clay High School, and you have been spending a lot of time at his home on Richmond Road, Ashland. Tell us what kind of work you're doing at Ashland.
Right. So most people are familiar with Henry Clay as Kentucky's beloved son or the great compromiser. But during his day, he also had another nickname, and that was the Prince of Hemp. He actually grew hemp at his Ashland estate. He manufactured it. He wanted to supply the entire Navy with American hemp, Kentucky hemp, Ashland hemp. And actually wrote a lot about it and used his legislative influence to advance the industry as well. So we wanted to use his legacy here in Kentucky with hemp and here at Ashland to educate people and engage them with Kentucky's rich hemp history and heritage and get them excited about it and get them understanding what it is and what it isn't. And how it was, so important to our state at one point in time and to Henry himself, and we can believe it can be just as important today, if not more so.
Well, we do have a question on Twitter from General Liberal, so I guess he is the other liberal listening to this program other than myself. At General Level, so asks, is the Bevin administration encouraging hemp development? I'll add, what do most Kentucky politicians think about hemp, and how are they helpful?
Well, just like Henry was, dedicated to advancing the industry in his days, Kentucky legislators have really stepped forward and are behind this, the movement, not only on a state level, but even federally. They're the ones who are co-sponsoring the federal legislation that is trying to remove industrial hemp from the controlled substances list. They are fully supportive of this. The Biden administration, all of our representatives, the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, we're really lucky to be in the state that is very proud to be representing the industry and moving it forward nationally as well.
So you mentioned the Industrial Hemp Farming Act. Right now we're in kind of a semi-legalization where hemp is fully legal, but only grown as part of an agriculture pilot program with a state like Kentucky Department of Agriculture. There's a bill that has been pending and continues to get support, more sponsors on Capitol Hill. Talk about that and talk about your efforts going. I know you all are going to Washington, and what people can do to help get this passed. I know they don't need to call their congressmen or their senators because Congressman Andy Barr, Senator Mitch McConnell, and Senator Rand Paul are all original co-sponsors of this legislation. But what else can people do to help get this passed?
Right. So we will be going to Washington, D.C. next week. We're really excited to start taking what we've done on a state level to also the national level and start highlighting some of the key legislators that have been so influential on the federal level and use them to sort of encourage other legislators and other people to get involved. So really, I encourage people to jump on social media, jump on Facebook, start keeping track of what we're doing, and we'll be talking to legislators and getting their insight and their inputs on what others can do to help them move this forward, and they're going to tell them what they can do and what they need, us as a public to do to help move this forward. So we're excited to hear their input and to share that and to use our social media presence to sort of, again, spread this on a national level as well.
You mentioned social media, and we were just talking about that before you got on with Mark Nicholas, who with bluegrassreport.org, not bluegrass politics, I apologize, it really helped launch the political blogosphere here. How has social media been helpful, and where have you run into, I know you've run into some issues where you've got social media outlets not understanding the difference between hemp and marijuana. So tell us about your experience there.
Right. So my background was actually public relations, and a lot of that had to do with social media. And so when we both graduated from Murray State in 2014, that's what we went to in order to start disseminating our information and some of the content we were gathering as we were working on these projects. And really that's what started engaging people in the Kentucky Hemp Pilot Program and the projects that were taking place and what hemp was and what hemp wasn't, because a lot of people were still misunderstanding what the pilot program was doing and how we were researching hemp and what it was. And so social media was really how we built our voice and how we built our presence and how we began educating people across the state. Yes, we did run into some issues. We actually, our Instagram account last year was disabled for about 6 months because I guess they thought we were promoting marijuana, which ironically enough, we've never, hashtag marijuana or 420 or anything of that nature, but even just hashtag hemp or cannabis, I guess, was a ringer to them. Luckily for us, we did get that reactivated after persistent messaging and contacting and trying to do everything we could to get that back because we had built quite a following on that and didn't want to lose it. And so we have since gotten that back and haven't had any problems on Instagram. We tend to stay away from Facebook because they don't like to let people sponsor things or advertise if, again, it has hemp involved in it. Again, I don't think their algorithm or whatever Facebook uses understands the difference. So hopefully we can educate them a little bit as well.
All right, last question, and I'm going to insist that Kirsten answer this because, Alyssa, you've been hogging the
I
mic.
know. I'm sorry.
So Kirsten, how you all are all over the social media and the web. Please share with our listeners how they can follow you and find out more about what you're doing.
All right. You can find us on Facebook at Kentucky Hempsters, also on Instagram and Twitter. And our website is www.kyhempsters.com.
Terrific. And you can follow them on Twitter, at KY Hempsters.